Welcome to Scars to Stars, where conversations and personal stories let us know we are not alone. In this show, you will meet authors and speakers from our books and events as they share vulnerable personal stories to spread hope and inspire you through adversities in your own life. The world is a difficult place. You will find like-minded people here with kind hearts and supportive souls. I am your host, Deana Brown Mitchell. I am a suicide survivor and the founder of the Realize Foundation. I am so glad you are here. Let's dig into this meaningful conversation. Hi, everybody. It's Deana at the Realize Foundation, and I have another wonderful guest for you today. And her name is Debra, and she lives in California. And Debra, I'm going to have you introduce yourself. Tell us where you live and what you do.
Hi, my name is Debra D'Ambrosio, and currently I reside in Bakersfield, California.
And what do you do?
So I work at a law firm, and I've been with the law firm throughout California in a regional offices for a total of 28 years.
Wow.
I've had five in Ventura, California, and about 16 in Los Angeles, downtown LA, and I'm now currently 6 years in Bakersfield. So I'm moving right along in my career, and I've learned a lot here, and it coincides with my writing skills as well, because
Mhm.
I'm able to help people write, some of their declarations, um, with in the legal field, and they need help, and I'm able to structure a letter or declaration, and so those are my experiences working here at the law firm.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So, Deborah has written in our new book that's coming out soon, The Scars to Stars Volume 5, and I can't wait for all of you to read her story. It's amazing. But I want you to give us a little overview so people will get an idea of what your story is about, and then maybe they'll get the book and read it.
Well, my story being that this book series with the Realize Foundation, Scars to Stars, for a suicide, my chapter in the book, because it's a collaboration of different authors in this one series, I speak on suicide and how I was affected by a death of a loved one through suicide. And when they commit suicide, they want to end their pain. And when they end their pain, they don't realize the loved ones they leave behind. We still endure that pain to carry on. And so I have lived through the devastation of a loss of a loved one by suicide. Although I write about that, I also write where I've been in my life, and I am a suicide survivor as well, and how I was able to overcome that adversity of suicide. And I want to bring a message of hope, how I overcame. And, I really want to thank God for at that time in my life when I was hopeless and very defeated. And I felt like there was just no hope. I thank God that He was able to bring to my remembrance the pain and the devastation of the loss of my loved one. And I would not want that, for my daughters and for my grandchildren. So basically, it is extracted out of my main book and kind of summarized together throughout the suicide experience, and then what steps I took to overcome it and how I continue, because we never get over the pain of the loss of our loved ones. Um, we learn to live with it. And so I want to share my story, my experience. A lot of times people don't want to talk about it for whatever reason. They're embarrassed, humiliated, or they don't want nobody to know. And I'm opening up and I'm being vulnerable because a lot of people don't know. I mean, we don't, suicide doesn't have a face. And so you just have to be alert, pay attention, and if you can help someone, if they're going through something, just talk with them, and so that's pretty much why I'm writing about this, to help someone.
Yeah. Thank you, Deborah. It's hard to talk about. I mean, after my attempt, it took me 23 years to talk about it.
Right.
So it's I think it's pretty common that people either have ideation or they've survived an attempt and they don't talk about it. And I think that's something we need to fix, because if we can talk about it, we can heal from it and we can help others understand, our experiences, and hopefully keep them from having to go through a similar thing. It's true.
True.
Hmm. So when you lost your grandfather, I've read your story, so I know a little bit about it. But how was your relationship with your grandmother after that?
So again, when somebody commits suicide, they don't realize the pain that the loved ones are left with.
Hmm.
And my grandmother, I felt as though me and my grandmother are inseparable. But the fact is that I lost her as well. Not only did I lose him,
Hmm.
I lost her. You know, we just, just it, the pain, it's just the memories. And I mean, she just, built a shrine to him, and just, it was tough.
Yeah.
It's been tough. When I got to my point, my grandson was my reason.
Hmm.
I knew enough that I did not want him to suffer,
Hmm.
you know, the way I suffered
Yeah.
with the loss of my grandfather.
And you've started something that you do for people. I want you to tell us about
I have an overall book, but right now we're just focusing on the suicide
that. Hmm.
uh, part. There is a purpose in my pain, and I'm sure later on I'll, bring more chapters to Scars to Stars and talk about um,
Hmm.
my younger years where I boxed and I was a fighter, but I didn't know that God would use that to take those skills as far as the physical fighter into a spiritual fighter. And so I do skits, I do performances where I speak about spiritual boxing, because we are in a spiritual fight. I go to different women's conferences and I'll perform the skit, and I bring the message of hope as well, and how to conquer the adversary, stuff that we go through, the opposition, and how to counterpunch it, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved your picture. I was going to ask you about the boxing part because you have a picture of you in a ring in the book, and it's. I wanted to ask you more about that. How did you get into boxing?
So when I was younger, I was always fighting, and I worked with uh, a boxer. He was amateur, and I just was so excited, and I loved Rocky. My grandmother was in the movie industry, and we would always watch that, and I loved it. So I would go to the boxing ring, and I would, train and hit the boxing bags and stuff like that. But it just never panned out. And I was reflecting the other day thinking, Lord, why didn't I ever become a woman boxer? Obviously, God knew why he was going to use me to box, but not in that way. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, to do a metaphor as far as in the spiritual fighting, because again, we fight in the spirit. I I still, aside from the spiritual boxing, that is my outlet. Just sitting there and hitting the bags and just jump roping and stuff like that. And I enjoy boxing. I think that's one of my greatest sports that I endure. uh, I'm going to, fights. And I remember going to, it was a Mike Tyson fight in Vegas.
Hi there, it's Deana. If you like our podcast and you're enjoying learning about other people's stories of overcoming adversity, please go over to therealizefoundation.org and support us by donating. We believe that conversations, community, and personal story can change lives and reduce suicide ideation. And we also have a way, if you have a business, you can support us without money out of your pocket. So go on over to realizefoundation.org and look at the donate page, and you can learn how to support us as a business, and also you can donate any amount. Thank you so much.
He was walking, and I was like, oh my God, I want to meet Mike Tyson. So I went, and I don't know if I went to shake his hand or something, and the bodyguard grabbed my hand and he was like, don't touch Mike. And I was like, what are you doing? Get off of me like that. And then Mike Tyson said, ooh, I like her. And so I got to meet Mike Tyson and stuff like that. So, and I've met a couple of boxers. And as a matter of fact, I consider her my friend. She is a female boxer. She trained Hillary Swank in Million Dollar Baby.
Oh,
So
cool.
we call her the Million Dollar Baby, even though, in the movie.
Yeah.
So I've been around a lot of entertainers and boxers, and another one is Oscar De La Hoya is another boxer, and I've had the opportunity to work in the actual Golden Boy building with my law firm and actually have a good relationship with him. And so because he's De La Hoya, we made it a joke one time. I said, oh, okay, well, in Spanish, Jaina is a chick, is the girl. So instead of De La Hoya, I'll be De La Jaina. And it stuck, and he loved it. And I mean, when I come into the building, there's Della Heina, and so I kept that name, and that's why. And he was my inspiration for a boxing name.
That's
And so
awesome.
that's how that on my Instagram, if people are wondering where I came up with that. And so, yeah,
That's
that,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, my husband used to work, well, he's worked in hotels for like 40 years. And he met Layla Ali when he worked in Atlanta. And she gave him one of her sparring gloves and signed it. And that same year, Muhammad Ali was one of the torchbearers for the Olympics that were in Atlanta. I think it was 96.
Uh-huh.
And so my husband has the picture of Muhammad Ali with the Olympic torch, and then he has Layla's picture with her sparring glove that she gave him. And so that's always something he's been very proud of. And so yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. A lot of
It is
experience.
so true how boxing compares to spiritual warfare, and how that's just so important. Like, this podcast is all about mental health. And if we can't keep our mind strong, then, that's when we get in the dark places. And so, how do you personally use that metaphor for yourself and keeping your mind strong?
I'm really into the word. I do different things to keep my mind focused, and I do a lot of meditating. as far as praying, meditation. Sometimes I do a prayer walk. I try to walk, and as I'm walking, I'm praying and talking to the Lord. And that helps me more. I mean, that works for me. I thank God that I didn't go to the extreme to to take my life. And so I really pride myself into my grandchildren. I really make a lot of effort to spend time with them and just enjoy them. Put that time and effort in that I missed out from my grandfather. I really like to watch movies, and then I have some video footage of my grandmother, who's now passed, but I watch her singing and laughing, and I look at pictures of her, and me on those horses. You put a quarter in and you ride on it. Well, my grandmother used to go outside Walmart, jump on one, and then I'd go behind her, and there's this old lady on a horse, and so I flood myself with a lot of memories, music. That's my outlet, and also just recently, I was raised in Ventura, California, and they have it's called Grants Park, I believe, and they have this humongous cross that overlooks the ocean. And when I'm going through something, I will drive 2 hours to that cross, and it overlooks the ocean, and it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. And I go up there to pray, and I get a lot of my answers there too. So over the weekend, that was another thing. I went over there this weekend, and I do a lot of praying. I'm a part of a ministry as well in Oxnard, and it's we do Zoom every Thursday night. I am a minister with the Victory Zone. I like to, people will call me and ask me for prayer, and then I like to jot down their prayers, and then I, pray on them and everything, and then I will go back to them, ask them, how they're doing, and then I get a praise report from them, and then I just write, what happened and what was the outcome, because I'm always knowing that God is a God of miracles, very positive and in helping somebody in need.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I would love to go see that cross.
Oh God, it's beautiful. It's in Ventura, California, and I believe the park is Sarah Sarah Park or something like that, and it's up in the hills. And during I don't know if it's 2016 or 17 when the big Thomas fires came,
Mm-hmm.
and it swept all the way through Ventura County. That cross did not get burned.
Wow.
It stayed. Everything else did, but it stayed.
Well, if
And
you have a picture of it, send it to me and I'll put it in the show notes.
okay, I believe I have a picture standing next to it, and you can see the sun and the ocean reflecting from the top. I mean, from the bottom, but
That's
overlooking the ocean.
awesome. Well, I want you to also tell people about your Battle of Tears and that project that you do.
In 2021, God gave me a vision. So, with all the loss during COVID and people passing away and the losing of the loved ones, the vision was there's a scripture in the Bible where it says that God records our tears, and our tears are not in vain. And He keeps each of our tears in a bottle. And so, what I did was, I got these little bottles, and I put like little glitter in there to represent the tears. And then the scripture is inside the bottle. When people pass away or people are going through something, I usually ask what their loved one's favorite color is, and then I will just give them some tears in the bottle as a constant reminder that our tears are not in vain. that was a vision that God gave me. And they were featured in a women's conference here in Bakersfield, California. So I just keep plugging away, whatever the Lord gives me. I try to take it in and then walk it out. He gives me the vision and he reveals, and then I walk it out.
That's beautiful. Yes. And I have some of those tears in a bottle, and mine are green, and they're beautiful. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're so very welcome.
Yeah. Do you have any last words for the audience?
I just would like to say that don't ever feel that nobody loves you. Don't ever feel that nobody's there. People do love you, and just reach out to somebody. Open up, and if you can't talk to anybody, you can talk to the Lord. And it's like I'm talking to you. You just talk to him, and he will answer you.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for being here and for sharing your story and wisdom. Appreciate it.
I want to thank you as well, Deana, for allowing me to be a part of your journey. And I'm excited about this book launch. And I just really want to thank you.
I'm so happy you joined us for this conversation. My wish is that you found comfort and hope in your own unique situation. If you resonated with our message, please head over to therealizefoundation.org, where you can apply to write your own story in one of our books. You can also download our 60 Ideas for Self-Care on the resources page. I can't wait to hear from you. Until next time, you are not alone, you are worthy, and you are enough.